leverage souls getting swallowed by the grind. See the jaws became mirrors showing pride and greed. Every red candle exposed what's inside of me. Had to crucify emotion, let discipline arise. Cause my vans trading kill quicker than a thief at night. Jericho standing tall like impossible resistance. But faith make walls collapse with consistent persistence. Joshua marching even when it made no sense. The patience in the rocket when you wait for confirmation. See the weak chase entrance, the wise wait calmly. Person either burst pipes or create kings sharply. Now I move strategic like the shepherd with the stone. Yeah, me burst the giants every morning at the hope it don't fold. In the wilderness, the promise still ahead. Every loss ain't destruction. Sometimes God rebuild a traitor instead. Jericho walls following my faith get loud. Used to great emotional, now my spirit strong. Joshua rebuilding while they doubted every step. Now the pressure build diamonds every time I get them tested. Escaping Babylon, I can live, train to feel. Market full of idols, I just walk a vision kid. Planting seeds of silence, trying to chase attention. Labor bring the harvest when you're moving intention. I seen traders worship poverty like a golden calf. Losing sales, chasing candles, moving way too fast. The wisdom worth more than silver and the gold. The disciplined mind worth more than what's inside your palm. Following up a lot powder when I say I had the right resistance. Sparking levels in the chains that kept protecting my decisions. Now to set a cleaner, spirit moving sharper. Every setback became fuel for moving smaller. They panic with the crowd when the headlines hit. The move they know a building while they left that hit. Preparation look foolish before the rain arrives. But survivors think different when they fighting to survive. Fast seasons feeling buried underneath the pressure. The seeds gotta die before they multiply forever. That's kingdom mathematics, that's the Lord's own reaper. Patient trader eat, non-emotional trader sleep. Yeah, it's bigger than trading. It's about mastering yourself. Anybody can enter a trade. You can conquer emotion. Escape Babylon. The cycle. Move with wisdom. Build with faith. Smart action trading. They told us chase fast money, bad money, worship greed, love for trading, panic with the crowd, modern Babylon, build on fear, distraction and emotional slavery, but discipline, patience, wisdom, that's how you escape the system. Smart action trading. Yeah, Jericho walls falling when my faith get louder. Used to trade emotional, now my spirit stronger. Joshua rebuilding while they doubted every step. Now the pressure build diamonds every time I get tested. Escaping Babylon, I can live, shade of fear. Market full of idols, I just walk a vision clear. Planting seeds of silence, while they chase attention. Labor bring the harvest when you move with intention. Used to chase every candle like the move of salvation. Lost inside the noise, trapped in desperation. Babylon system got the masses moving blind. Over leverage souls getting swallowed by the grind. See the jaws became mirrors showing pride and greed. Every red candle exposed what's inside of me. Had to crucify emotion, let discipline arise. Cause my vans trading kill quicker than a thief at night. Jericho standing tall like impossible resistance. But faith make walls collapse with consistent persistence. Joshua marching even when it made no sense. The patience in the rocket when you wait for confirmation. See the weak chase entrance, the wise wait calmly. Person either burst pipes or create kings sharply. Now I move strategic like the shepherd with the stone. Yeah, me burst the giants every morning at the hope it don't fold. In the wilderness, the promise still ahead. Every loss ain't destruction. Sometimes God rebuild a traitor instead. Jericho walls following my faith get loud. Used to great emotional, now my spirit strong. Joshua rebuilding while they doubted every step. Now the pressure build diamonds every time I get them tested. Escaping Babylon, I can live, train to feel. Market full of idols, I just walk a vision kid. Planting seeds of silence, trying to chase attention. Labor bring the harvest when you're moving intention. I seen traders worship poverty like a golden calf. Losing sales, chasing candles, moving way too fast. The wisdom worth more than silver and the gold. The disciplined mind worth more than what's inside your palm. Following up a lot powder when I say I had the right resistance. Sparking levels in the chains that kept protecting my decisions. Now to set a cleaner, spirit moving sharper. Every setback became fuel for moving smaller. They panic with the crowd when the headlines hit. The move they know a building while they left that hit. Preparation look foolish before the rain arrives. But survivors think different when they fighting to survive. Fast seasons feeling buried underneath the pressure. The seeds gotta die before they multiply forever. That's kingdom mathematics, that's the Lord's soul reaper. Patient trader eat, non-emotional trader sleep. It's bigger than trading. It's about mastering yourself. Anybody can enter a trade. You can conquer emotion. Escape Babylon. The cycle. Move with wisdom. Real phase. Smart action trading. They told us chase fast money, worship greed, panic with the crowd, build on fear, distraction and emotional slavery. But discipline, patience, wisdom, that's how you escape the system. Smart action trading. Yeah. Jericho walls falling when my faith get louder. Used to trade emotional, now my spirit's stronger. Joshua rebuilding while they doubted every step. Now the pressure build diamonds every time I get tested. Escaping Babylon, I can live, chain of fear. Market full of idols, I just walk with vision clear. Planting seeds of silence while they chase attention. Labor bring the harvest when you move with intention. Used to chase every candlelight and move of salvation. Lost inside the noise, trapped in desperation. Babylon system got the masses moving blind. Over leveraged souls getting swallowed by the grind. See the charts became mirrors showing pride and greed. Every red candle exposed what's inside of me. Had to crucify emotion, let discipline arise. Cause revenge trading kill quicker than a thief at night. Jericho standing tall like impossible resistance. But faith make walls go after consistent persistence. Joshua marching even when it made no sense. The patience in the rocket when you wait for confirmation. See the weak chase entrance, the wise wait calmly. Person either burst pipes or create king sharply. Now I move strategic like the shepherd with the stone. Gave me burst of giants every morning at the hope it don't fold. In the wilderness, the promise still ahead. Every loss ain't destruction. Sometimes God rebuild the trader instead. Jericho walls following my faith get loud. Used to trade emotional, now my spirit's stronger. Joshua rebuilding while they doubted every step. Now the pressure build diamonds every time I get them tested. Escaping Babylon, I can live, train to fear. Market full of idols, I just walk a vision kid. Planting seeds of silence, while they chase attention. Labor bring the harvest when you're moving in.
The information shared during this live stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. All trades, ideas, and strategies discussed are my personal opinions and are not recommendations to buy or sell any securities. Trading involves risk, and you should always do your own research and consult with a licensed financial professional before making any investment decisions. You are solely responsible for your own trading results.
Top of the morning, traders, and happy Friday, August 28th. And welcome to the Most Value Pack Live Trader Show. We'll be live trade breakdown, charts, combine impact events, and talk trader mindset. Hope everyone had a wonderful day yesterday and is ready to kick off another opportunity-filled day. Happy Free Trade Friday. For those of you on YouTube, if you want to join us for the delay-free, ad-free stream, that's available. Make sure to join the free tier Discord, and you can enjoy the delay-free, ad-free stream as well as access to the full screen, full dashboard. And you can see 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 12 more tickers and all the ideas we're looking to pursue. Make sure to like the video on YouTube, guys. Make sure to subscribe. Today's a big day. We do have the Fed chair speaking at 10 o'clock. So let us know. Are you trading after 10 o'clock, before 10 o'clock? Again, size down if you need to. Look for high quality setups. If those don't come to fruition, sometimes the best trade is no trade. All right, so let's make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. If you're looking to join us every single day, access all the tools and resources, spystruckers.com. Use the code TROUT30, and you'll have access to delay-free, ad-free stream. On that note, guys, let the market open up here. We are ready to rock and roll. We will have the coverage for the Fed chair's comments, so don't worry about that. And this is not FOMC. This is not FOMC. Okay, this is different than FOMC. Okay, this is Jackson Hole. Okay, guys. And we are officially open. We got a baby gap up to open things up. Baby gap up to open things up. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's rock and roll, guys. Let's rock and roll. Out the gate, Palantir starting to push. Palantir starting to push. I want to see if there's some legitimacy. The first 1 minute doesn't mean much to me. The first 1 minute does not mean much. The first 1 minute is just repositioning, a lot of manipulation, a lot of back and forth. All right, let the dust settle. We're starting to see small caps push. Small caps in the Dow are range bounds. They're in the midst of a 3-4 day range they need to break out of. So let's see if today's the day. If today's the day and the Qs have some strength, okay, synchronized buying can start to come into play. All right, that's what we need. For SPY to get lifted, we need synchronized buying across the board. We need synchronized buying across the board. I went back and listened to yesterday's episode. The volume was very low. Okay, not sure why. So let me know if the volume is still low on YouTube. I'll try to get that. I'll try to put it to the max. It's already on max. I'm not sure what I can do on my end outside of putting it on max volume. But the audio should be good for our Discord viewers and our Google Meets viewers. Okay, so let's see what the market has in store today. Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Small gap up. Thank you for the update, Elian. Q's falling off a cliff. Q's headed towards PML. So we do see Alphabet. Okay. Alphabet pushing. Amazon pushing. Keeping a close eye on Palantir. Okay. SPY getting smacked off of that rejection zone between pre-market high, pre-market low, still within prior day's range. See small caps can make a move. Q's slide into the downside. So this is the scenario where you can anticipate chop. Q's going one way. Q's going south. Dow going north. Okay. If Q's are going south, okay, Dow's going north. Or if the Q's are going north and the Dow's going south, SPY's going to go east. Don't forget that, guys. All right. So remember that. That's an easy way to remember it. Easy way to remember. Microsoft pushing here. Microsoft pushing. We got Meta pushing. M&M pushing. We got Tesla per usual pushing as well. Tesla at 360. Okay. 360 level full circle is going to be critical. Qs, all right. Qs are testing that PML. So again, Qs are testing PML. They're testing that 716.55 and that 717.92. 718.55 and 717.92. So right. So I'd be reluctant to go short in the jaws of this territory here. That is a key zone. Okay. The Qs are notorious for the traps. Qs are notorious for traps. Let me see if I can pull up the link to the Jackson Hole. I know it's at 10 o'clock, but they should have. Okay, Jackson Hole. Okay, no. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone on YouTube. Good morning, good morning. Microsoft, Meta, Apple, Google all showing some signs of strength. Palantir as well. See if they can maintain that strength. We also have consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. We also have consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. Okay, that's good. Let's see. Checking on the chat on YouTube. Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Good morning, George and viewers. God bless you and your family, health, economy, and weekend ahead. Happy Friday. Please, everyone, hit the like button. Show gratitude and generosity in your hearts. Absolutely, guys. Make sure to like the video. God bless everyone joining us this morning. The like button is not a return making money in the stock market. It's to show that you have gratitude. It's free. Takes absolutely like button. The cost of admission is the like button. Verse of the day, Ephesians 6:19. Good morning, Sid. Thank you for supporting the channel. Fishman, thank you for supporting the channel. Sid, CK, good morning. But News, good morning. Discord, loud and clear. Good, good, good. All right, so YouTube members, keep in mind, after the stream, we do have an extended version of the stream. You guys do have access to that, all right? So that is a perk of being a member. All right, Shockwave 5 is here. Shockwave 5 is here. See what that gives us. Alphabet pushing. We have Palantir pushing. Palantir. I'm taking a look at Palantir. Palantir made a nice move yesterday. Had a nice little flag in pre-market. Okay, so if there's some follow through behind that, I do like Palantir off of a certain zone for that bounce. But if there's some momentum behind that break, Palantir can potentially go. Palantir 190s. Apple, yep. Apple today. I'm watching Apple like a hawk. Apple, yep. Apple. So Apple and Tesla are regulars, right? They're going to be regulars. Because SPY's not, SPY's going east. 80% of the time, SPY's going east. All right, and Apple, when it goes north, it just goes north. Tesla, when it goes north, it goes north. When it goes south, it goes south. But you have to know how to trade Tesla. Okay, so we don't want anything going east. Okay, Shockwave 5 here. Okay. Very tight room with that daily upside breaker. Very tight room with that daily upside breaker. Okay, Qs are starting to bounce off that PML. And now guess what? Dow's starting to sell off that PMH. Dow's starting to sell off that PMH. Shockwave 5 starting to go. Okay, Shockwave 5 starting to go. TP scale out at that daily upside breaker. Okay, very short TP. Very short TP. And that's designed, okay, between that 9:30, 9:35 and 9:45 window, maximum 10 o'clock. That quick appreciation to the upside. With that quick appreciation to the upside. Okay. Okay, Qs are getting their act together. They're testing VWAP here currently. They did catch a bid off that key zone. SPY's bumping its head on that daily upside breaker. Okay, we have PMH and daily upside breaker right there. Expansion on the other side of PMH. Dow below VWAP, headed south after knocking out that PMH. All right, so we could possibly see SPY continue to go east, guys. Meta starting to push. Does Meta want 600 today? Does Meta want 600 today? Okay, Palantir. Palantir already broke here. So I'm looking at the Palantir 190 calls. Keep in mind, guys, these are zeros. Palantir has a Friday expiration. Palantir has some good strength here. And Palantir, I might even take Palantir via Shockwave 5. Alright, since it has aggressive strength, see Palantir can knock out the high right there. 187.30. And it has room to go. Palantir has some room to go if it wants to go now. I like that hourly candle here on Palantir. SPY, nice bounce on SPY. Off of Shockwave 5. So Palantir in recent history has been kind of doing the inverse. not totally inverse, but inverse tendencies, okay, of the indexes. So here, scale out there once again on SPY. So Palantir, Shockwave 5, keeping a close eye. 190 calls. That's the only thing I'm looking at. If you took SPY there to the upside, okay, via Shockwave 5, double dipper, or ones who took the retest, good to go. TP1 hit once again. We have Microsoft continuing to push. We got Nvidia. Nvidia's in the timeout box. I'm not trading Nvidia this week. All right, coming off of earnings, so IV still hot. Palantir contracts not too spready, about a 4-cent spread. Look at SPY, guys. Anyone catch that? Strikers, anyone catch that? Via Shockwave 5. All right, so this means this would be applicable to the people trading before 10 o'clock. So the only ones who are trading this are the before 10 o'clock camp. If you're in the after 10 o'clock camp, you can't have FOMO off the setup. All right, because you're not even supposed to be trading at that time. All right. Took SPY, beautiful job, Poodle. Took Meta, nice catch, Fido. See if Meta can hold that 580. Now see if SPY can hold this territory here. Good. Per usual, I'm going to put Tesla on watch. These are the zeros, guys. Be mindful of that. Today's Friday. Okay, Tesla, the 360s. 250s. We'll go with the 360s on Tesla via Shockwave 15. Microsoft also pushing, has room to 510. SPY coming in for that retest. Small caps going the other way. So Qs are carrying. So Qs bounced off pre-market low. They're at pre-market high now. And now can the Qs get past this zone here, team? All right, so this is going to determine if the Qs can expand or continue to trade range bound. All right, you can see here, we came into these lows, we came into these highs. Right, can we expand beyond this, or do we continue to gravitate back towards 720? All right, and if we're going to expand, is it going to be before 10 o'clock? Okay, so very, very important. Microsoft pushing. So I'll add Microsoft to the list for Shockwave 15. I'm looking at the 515s on Microsoft. Meta pushing as well. Okay, the only one I'm interested in Shockwave 5 is Palantir. So I'm going to wait for that. And 15 on Shockwave 15 on Microsoft. Meta. Meta has a tendency to be erratic, guys, so be mindful of that. 590s on Meta. So Meta probably have to take the bid. So what I'm watching here is Palantir, Tesla, Microsoft, Meta. So big test here for the Qs. Okay, this is going to determine if the Qs continue to trade in that range, or it is going to determine if the Qs decide to expand. Okay. Microsoft and Meta running. We got Amazon pushing here as well. Amazon needs to knock out that 260. Does SPY hold this? Notoriously, SPY has a hard time holding daily upside breakers. Okay, well, look at Microsoft, guys. Microsoft and Meta running here. Beautiful push on Microsoft and Meta. Okay, Meta's already up $3 off that 580. Microsoft is up $1.70 off that 510. Okay, 945 here, guys. Okay, shockwave 15 is here. Okay. This actually might be favorable for Palantir. Microsoft 511.92 break. Okay. It's going to be predicated on what the Qs do here. If the Qs end up rejecting off this territory, guys, and SPY fails to hold that daily upside breaker, and we've got a breakdown, keep a close eye on small caps for the breakdown. Okay, they can lead the breakdown if there's a legitimate sell on Microsoft and there's a rejection at that PMH. Okay, keep a close eye there. And Tesla has some room to the downside as well, so I'll take a look at puts on Tesla as well in the event that we do get a breakdown. I'm open to it. 350s. Microsoft pushing. Microsoft pushing here. So Microsoft, give me the retest. Microsoft, give me the retest. Alphabet, keep a close eye on Alphabet. See if Microsoft can come back and retest 511.92. Okay, Microsoft is the one. Apple taking out those lows. It has room into PML. A little bit of traffic at PML. See if Microsoft can come back and test that 511.92. If it can, that would be great. Out of the indexes, if the Qs start to reject, fall back onto that 9. SPY heads back towards VWAP. Small caps for the breakdown. Small caps rejection off that PML. Okay. But that thesis has to come to fruition. Okay, keeping a close eye on Microsoft. See Microsoft can fall back onto that level. And come back, test this level at least. Give me a test. If you took Microsoft already, good, good, good. So now we're about 12 minutes away. I'm trying to locate the link. Okay. SPY. Shockwave 15 on SPY. We need the Qs to break. Keep a close eye on Google above 343.29. Weekly open reclaim. Okay, Microsoft is the winner so far for Shockwave 15. We got Amazon coming in as well. Amazon, see if we can hold above 259.52. Has room into 260 initially. Shockwave 5 retest coincides with VWAP. Shockwave 5 retest coincides with VWAP. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Shenanigans. Here we go. Let the games begin. Right at 950 as well. On that 950 flip. Nvidia sliding to the downside. Nvidia the first one to crack. See, Microsoft can start to come into that territory. Okay, I want Microsoft to come into that, come and test that. Microsoft. This might be favorable for Palantir. I want to see Palantir hold above that level. Microsoft, give me an alert on Microsoft. Come back and retest that. Just dip a little bit lower. Dip a little bit lower. Amazon and Nvidia cracking those lows. So I'm trying to locate the link for Jackson Hole. Tesla starting to slide. Tesla starting to slide. Be mindful, PML is right there. Keeping a close eye. Microsoft resurface. If SPY can resurface off that VWAP, Microsoft resurface. Okay, get back above that. Get back above that level. Okay, I'm not going to try to catch the bottom on Microsoft. I'm going to wait for it to resurface. Get back above it. That just simply means fall back under it. Get back above it. I'm putting the alert as cross up. Trading view. I think they have a bug in their alert system. If SPY continues to sell off, okay. Palantir can come into play based on the relationship we've been and keep a close eye on Tesla. Tesla needs to get past this PML. Microsoft can get back above 512.12 and SPY can get back above VWAP. I'm interested in the 515s of Microsoft. Okay. See if you can course correct. Alphabet is starting to pick up some speed here, guys. Alphabet's starting to wake up. If the index, if SPY and the Qs sell off, all right, we have small caps very close to the lows. So just be mindful of that breakdown with those two can come into play. We got a red light. Red light on SPY. Notice how the Dow's starting to push while the Qs are starting to dump. Dow's pushing while the Dow's pushing while the Qs are pumping. I'm gonna keep a close eye on small caps as well. If the indexes want to dump here, they want to flush it. Small caps have room to go. They don't have a lot of traffic. We just need the indexes to continue to sell off, and we need Qs to give up that VWAP. There goes Google. Alphabet's starting to push. Amazon is trying to push. Microsoft testing VWAP. Palantir, nothing yet. Please turn the mic up. I got the mic as loud as I can, guys. I'll try to get this issue addressed over the weekend. But I'm using the same mic, same setup. Nothing's really changing. But it seems like the volume changes. Google retest. So folks who are trading after 10 o'clock, you're not concerned with this action. You're just a mere spectator. All right, you're just watching how things are playing out. All right, no harm, no foul. Folks who are trading before 10, Shockwave 5, provide an opportunity. I want to see Microsoft resurface. Indexes continue to head towards lows a day. I think the small caps can lead the way. To the downside. If that's the case, I got small caps. I'm looking at the 290 puts on small caps. And guess what? We got the Qs back at that 720. So Qs want to hold that range. How are we doing, guys? Yeah, in the Discord, guys, it's always going to be the same. It's what happens is it fluctuates on YouTube for some reason. Okay. So people tuning in to the private stream, delay for ad-free stream members, your experience should be the same. Down goes NVIDIA. Okay, so if someone could send me the link to Jackson Hole Strikers, I'm trying to look for it. Got a lot of fake links, replays. All right, so be careful. Here we go. I got it. Okay, AP. The AP is the only one I use. Okay. So we have that. We'll have that coverage for you. In the meantime, guys, let's get the likes up. Okay, let's get to 50 likes before 10 o'clock. SPY getting smacked off that rejection zone. Okay. Qs. All right. Qs are still range bound. All right. Now we'll share this bird's eye view chart. Okay. This is a very, very important chart. Okay. So all the levels will be available to you guys very soon. We got Google starting to push. If SPY can wake up, that will help Alphabet. So no trades yet so far for me, guys. Resurface on Microsoft back into highs a day. Palantir break. Google potential retest. If SPY can hold, VWAP wants to go north. I was eyeing small caps breakdown if indexes showed weakness into lows a day. But no trade so far. Okay. No trades, no trades, no trades. Trump is speaking in 5. Are you in? No, I'm not in anything. CMG's moving. Chipotle. So, Google. Is the only one moving here via shockwave. I think the market is just on standby. Market's on standby until Fed chair. Because look, this is the open, guys. We're hugging the open. The open is right there. You see this yellow line? That's the open. That is the open. Tesla is starting to show a little bit of weakness. If market dumps, Tesla below pre-market low. We'll keep a close eye on Tesla. We will keep a close eye on Tesla. Okay. Google's pushing. Meta's brewing. Meta's brewing. Meta above 584.17. That coincides very close to 585. So let's see if we can clear that as well. Okay, there goes SPY once again. So outside of Shockwave 5 giving you a TP2. Here we go, guys. Shenanigans. Shenanigans, shenanigans, shenanigans. Here we go. Tesla. Okay, this is to be expected. Okay, let me pull up the stream here. What I see on my end is this, guys. Is waiting. It's on standby. Okay, it has not went live yet. I'm waiting for the AP. Shenanigan. Look at this. Please be careful. Please be careful. Please be careful. Best trade is no trade. I'm refreshing multiple times. Do the Qs use that candle to finally get that break? Okay, Fed shares up here.
Good morning, Kristen. Thank you for that super kind introduction. It was 25 years ago that we were colleagues. It's an honor to share the stage.
Fed shares live.
It's
Fed
great
shares
to be
live.
back here in the Valley again. See so many familiar faces from academia.
I'll look for the retest on Tesla.
Last tour of service.
Very, just basically lotto size.
100 days, which is just this weekend. I've been looking forward to this weekend. And before I go further, I want to thank Jeff Schmidt and his team for the incredible hospitality. Everybody here is in debt to you and to your colleagues here at the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. Jeff, our thanks to you and your team. Now, he and the other planners here have some recreation options lined up for later today. I'd advise you to be very careful with your choices. As I learned years ago, you can take two different kinds of hikes on the trails around Jackson. I can sum up my hikes with former Vice Chairman Don Cohn with two words: I survived. These steely marathon death marches revealed a sign of Don that I was not ready for. But there's another kind of hike. This one was with former Chairman Ben Bernanke, another dear old colleague. With Ben, it was a much more leisurely pace, an easy stroll along the wandering trails of the Rockefeller
Tesla
Reserve.
dumping.
So before setting out today, my recommendation is do a wellness check. Ask yourself,
Let me know if the audio's good,
day
guys.
or a Bernanke day? The best thing about this gathering is that it helps us all get out here to the mountains and clear our minds and think straight about our world and our time. For me, it feels like the right place and the right audience for a real engagement with the ideas that matter most. Innovation, as Kristen mentioned, is the conference theme. And I believe the public and the markets understand that innovations in the conduct of Fed policy will help deliver price stability alongside full employment. So here's a quick overview of what I'll cover in my remarks this morning. You can call it an outline, you can call it a trail map, but please just don't call it forward guidance. First, I'll touch on a few of the longer-term questions we're asking at the Fed about the latest general-purpose technology, AI, and where it might take the economy. Then I'll reflect a bit on the practice of forward guidance and the interaction between the central bank and financial markets.
It don't take small caps or Tesla. Small caps and Tesla moving like crazy to the downside.
Policy. And finally, I'll give you my assessment of what's happening in the economy. So first, I think we should try to prepare a bit for future policy conjunctures. With the unchanging picture of the Tetons as our backdrop, we are here to survey an economic landscape that is anything but static. It wasn't so long ago, including in rooms like this, in the run-up to the crisis of 2008 and over the decade that followed, when economists and policymakers were speaking of secular stagnation, speaking of a global savings glut. It's a widely held view that an excess of capital would sit on the sidelines for a very long, long time, because there just wouldn't be enough compelling investment opportunities. All the good stuff, you'll recall, had been invented, so growth would be low and slow. Well, times sure have changed. We've come to a hinge point in history, to borrow a phrase, a framing from my former mentor, George Shultz. To cite the clearest example, progress in AI, the 80-year-old name for the newest technology, has been faster even than its evangelists predicted just a couple of years ago. The potential for substantially higher growth is on the rise. Ever-expanding pools of capital pouring into AI-related infrastructure of all sorts. A kind of super Moore's Law seems to be playing out. Scaling laws, too, are changing both the method and speed of innovation. Capital and labor have combined to create large language models at the heart of AI. Users buy tokens to gain access to these models. Reports put annualized token sales for the two leading labs alone at more than $100 billion, an increase of 500% from just 12 months ago. We at the Fed, we watch all this attentively. We recognize that AI is a new variable, potentially a new factor of production that will have consequences both for the economy and for the conduct of monetary policy. It opens up some major lines of inquiry. Will the application of AI cause a significant sustained rise in productivity across the economy? If so, when? Will token usage be complementary or competitive to labor? Will the next generation of AI models demand even greater capital intensity too? Or will the models themselves help devise a capital-light solution? Among the other yet unknowns is the resulting market structure. Who gets to make the money? It's not obvious where the returns on capital will land or on what time scale. Early on, how much of the surplus goes to owners of scarce assets, the AI labs or chip makers or energy producers or cloud providers? Over time, how much of that value accrues to businesses and consumers? And importantly, what are the implications for workers and for the employment side of the Fed's mandate? Likewise, we don't yet know the equilibrium price of the tokens that give access to these models. Might there be a heterogeneity of tokens, such that growing sums will be paid for the access to the best models, those at the frontier? Will token prices for older models fall to the level of their marginal cost? Well, we'll be thinking through these matters with the help of a task force on productivity and jobs. My early check-ins with the leaders of that task force and the rest have been very encouraging. To be clear, though, their recommendations will come later and have no bearing on decisions we make in the current policy conjuncture. But I believe that for future policy challenges, this intellectual investment today will leave us much better prepared for tomorrow. Next, let me say a word about forward guidance and its substitutes. As our task forces go about their work, as you might know, I'm not waiting to introduce innovations at the Fed to help make us fit for purpose. To highlight one example, I've set out to change the form and function of the Fed chairman's so-called forward guidance. You might know about my longtime discomfort with early pronouncements of future policy decisions. I much prefer another path, and now we'll make the case for it. Transparency in communications about future policy decisions is not an end unto itself. Communications must be in service to the Fed's paramount responsibility. And what is that? That's getting policy right. Forward guidance as a regular practice was adopted by my colleagues and me during the global financial crisis. It was essential at the time, and we introduced it with much fanfare. But as with other legacies of crises past, I believe the practice has outstayed its welcome. In normal times, the role of forward guidance should be limited and circumscribed. Otherwise, it risks creating ambiguity in the name of clarity. Oversharing policy deliberations and overcommitting to future decisions can lead markets, businesses, and households astray. And I believe when policymakers make quasi-commitments on interest rates throughout the cycle, we inhibit our own freedom to make the right calls when it's time to decide. To get policy right, we also need to get the relationship right between the central bank and financial markets. The Fed needs clear market signals, as unfiltered as possible, from market internals, from the level and change in asset prices across sectors, the prices and trading volumes of Treasury securities, the foreign exchange value of the dollar, the cost and availability of credit, a broad set of commodity prices. These and other indicators should inform the Fed's near-term outlook on economic activity and inflation throughout the business cycle. They should also reveal the state of broader financial conditions and the risks and uncertainties of the financial cycle. At the same time, market participants themselves should be tracking real information about the real economy. They should draw their own conclusions, form their own expectations on things like output and employment and inflation, and they too should stay sharply attuned to risks. In my view, the Fed should be humble and never naive. The Fed plays an essential role in the economy and markets. Our tools are powerful. We determine the path of short-term interest rates, and market participants will always try to anticipate what we will do next. But we should not indulge a regime in which market participants are looking primarily to the Fed for their next trade. The economic literature has long described the distorting effects, what it called the Hall of Mirrors problem. If markets rely materially on the Fed's guidance, and the Fed relies on market prices, we're more likely to be blinded to new developments, more likely to be caught unprepared, and more likely to commit errors in policymaking. Now, perversely, market participants are unlikely to bear the biggest costs of the Hall of Mirrors problem. The most serious harm is likely to befall those without any financial assets. If the Fed gets inflation wrong and judges the economy wrong, who gets the worst of it? Not the financial high flyers. Hardworking Americans are the ones left to deal with inflation that's too high, or jobs that suddenly appear less secure. So, if forward guidance is ill-suited to normal times, how about the new Fed chief commits at a meeting just like this to some explicit reaction function? Surely he could tell us his interest rate path if, say, the data were to come in hot or cold. Well, I wish our understanding of the economy were so precise as to provide a mechanical, tried and true answer. That some simple function, like a Taylor rule, could be rigorously relied upon.
What a dump, guys. Anyone riding this to the downside? Wow, what a dump on the Qs, on especially small cap, SPY, Tesla. Okay, these are some major moves taking place. If you did take any of those trades, make sure you're secure in profit. All right. And if you have runners, those runners are flying.
Better in the lab than in the field. I am not alone in noticing that forward guidance in 2021, to cite just one example, might well have slowed the policy response to high inflation. In my term as chairman, my colleagues and I will endeavor to construct more reliable models, more robust rules, and we'll do this knowing that accuracy in forecasting is still just an aspiration. With so much changing so fast in our geopolitics, global supply chains, technology, it's wise to be modest about what we can and cannot know as we sit here today. In the same spirit, we should receive the full range of ideas on matters that may inform the Fed's monetary policy discussions. If the aim is optimal decision-making, and it should be, we should not crowd out views on the economy. How then to chart a better path to policy? In the balance of my remarks, I will share with you some key principles that guide my thinking on the appropriate conduct of monetary policy. And then I'll offer my promised assessment of the economy. So let's turn first to principles. First, I've noticed in this line of work, yesterday's news has a way of getting mistaken for what's happening right now. The challenge is to know the difference. In other words, we must interrogate reality. Make sure we're not setting forward-looking policy based on stale or inaccurate data. Nor should we rely on isolated data points. Trends matter most. The Fed's a decision-making agency. We make choices amid uncertainty, and the data upon which we draw must be relevant, contemporaneous, accurate, and as actionable as possible. Second principle. The Fed's actions are intended to ensure that the aggregate demand side of the economy is broadly consistent with aggregate supply. However, all we observe directly is activity. We never see and can only infer what's really happening on the supply side. Hence, evaluating the current and expected balance between aggregate supply and aggregate demand is imprecise. Third principle, there should be no misunderstanding. The Fed's price stability objective of 2%, as measured by the PCE price index, is a firm, fixed target. Let me be equally clear about another aspect of this objective. Price stability is not self-executing, nor is inflation necessarily mean reverting. It's the Fed's job to deliver stable prices, no excuses. Fourth principle, the Fed also bears responsibility for maximum employment. Achieving both sides of our mandate over the medium term is not an either-or proposition. I do not believe the Fed's dual mandate works at cross purposes. After all, high inflation itself is very harmful to economic prosperity. Fifth principle, short-term interest rates are the predominant tool to achieve the dual mandate. Unconventional policies to spur economic activity may suit genuine crises, of which we all have much experience, but they should otherwise be used sparingly, if at all. Sixth, money matters. I know it's not fashionable these days, but my view is that money has something important to do with monetary policy. We should pay attention to money created by the central bank and money that comes from the banking and financial system. It's true that financial innovations, the subject of this conference, and other factors alter the mechanics that link the monetary base, the velocity of money, and the broader economy. But that is scarcely a reason to ignore the ultimate effects of money on financial conditions and prices. Finally, a quieter Fed, a more purposeful Fed in its communications, is.
We're seeing some aggressive buyers step in here that reclaim that pre-market low. Still on watch for a dead cat bounce. If this does turn into a legitimate V-shape push back to the upside, keep a close eye on Microsoft and keep a close eye on Google to resurface above those highs and continue to push. If this is just a dead cat bounce and it can't continue to push, if it gets above these levels and falls back under, I'll be there for spot to the downside. Right? If it's legit push to the upside, I got Microsoft on watch from earlier. But that was a gorgeous, gorgeous dump, to say the least. Amazon continues to push the upside. When SPY sold off, when everything sold off, Amazon was able to absorb that selling. All right, so let's see what does take place here. Let's continue to listen.
Ones at the Federal Reserve. And we've been using those in my first 100 days. And I expect we're going to continue to use those in the period right ahead of us. Now, you may have read in the July minutes the unanimous view of the FOMC. Labor markets were stable, output solid, but inflation remained too high. A good majority of my colleagues and I thought the wiser course was to await new information in the intermeeting period, especially given possible developments in supply chains, investment flows, and geopolitics.
SPY testing VWAP. Q's testing VWAP. SPY testing VWAP. Okay, it's very unstable conditions, guys. Anything can take place here. If you caught that dump to downside, tremendous. See if we get a reclaim here. See if we get a reclaim. Nice push on Google. Amazon continues to lead the way. 5-minute candle shooter on Q's. 5-minute candle shooter on SPY. 5-minute candle shooter on the down, back to downside. I'll be interested in 770 puts on SPY. If it continues to push up, guys, if it continues to push up, I got Microsoft on watch. All right, so it just depends what it wants to do at this point. At this critical inflection point, we got a zone there, we got VWAP there. So put in the chat, does it reclaim, continue to push the highs of the day, or does it fall back, reject there and fall back into the lows of the day? Okay, critical point. 57% on Tesla, beautiful job. Devil dog. Okay, let's continue to listen.
Both growth and CapEx and corporate earnings are running quite high. Continue to watch the change in the growth rates, second derivative. Follow-on effects on asset prices, business confidence, consumer incomes and spending are equally important to gauge. Credit spreads on corporate bonds and leveraged loans are near the low end of their historical averages. And issue volumes this year, quite strong. Looking beyond fixed income markets to the banking business. In the July so-called SLOOS survey, banks tell us that standards for C&I loans are on the easier end of their historical ranges. It helps explain their growth that we've seen this year in these loans. In my view, credit and loan markets are showing few signs of policy restraint. Now, certain sectors, like housing and agriculture, are showing strains. But on balance,
starting to push here. Starting to push. We're back above view up on SPY and the Qs. There goes Google. Continue to push. See if Microsoft can start waking up here. We got our green light. So we got a red light there on the drop. Green light here. Let's continue to listen. Careful V-shape. Yep. When it's moving this fast, you just got to let it clear. All right. So you got to let it clear. And you got to at least wait for that 5-minute candle to close. That'll give you the best clarity. Okay, but if it can fall back under 771.48 after getting that high, I will be interested to the downside. If it continues to push to the upside, I'll let it continue to push. Fall back under VWAP. We'll be interested in the puts on the 770 puts on SPY. And look at this hourly candle. It's a doji. Okay, and look at that hourly candle, complete doji. All right, so anything can happen, especially with the Fed speaking. So think of this as lotto time or just no trade time. Okay, so you can continue to push lower here. Okay, I'll take the puts right there on SPY. On that break to the downside, stay below this daily upside breaker prior day's highs. Okay, if you did take that, manage accordingly. Higher risk trade, up 10, get some follow through behind it, that'd be great. Into 770.95. I'm gonna take a majority off right there at 12. Okay, down to runners. Okay, see runners can continue to push into PML, up 15. There we go. There we go. Up 22. There we go. We have room into 77.95. Up 22 right there. And I'll close it off right there. All right. So everything is very iffy. Quick scalp. Closing it right there. Okay. I took it all the way into that 770.95 territory right there. Okay. So double digit extraction. Very quick. Just need that nice little drop. Quick double digit appreciation. All right, because it's just anything can happen. It can go down, go up, go down, go up. So it's got to proceed with caution. The best setup was the breakdown, right? The breakdown on Tesla and small caps. Those provide some great opportunities. So that's the first trade that I took for today. Okay, SPY puts right there. Quick scalp, less than a minute. I don't trust anything. Yeah, so it's hard to trust anything because the lack of follow through and wicks. All right, so see profit, take profit. If you're wrong, don't be wrong for long. All right, anything he says can lead to shenanigans. All right, so let the market do what it needs to do. It's basically smack dab in the middle. Daily open, VWAP. Okay, quick scalp, sniper scalp. Was there. Granted, it can continue to push lower. Okay, but I don't want to sit through the back and forth. All right, guys, let's continue to listen.
I find it instructive to disaggregate the 199 individual components of the PC price measure. Over the last 12 months, 54% of goods and services in this basket showed price increases above 3%. This is well below the post-pandemic highs of about 77%, but it remains well above the level of 32 in a couple of the decades that preceded the pandemic. Looking over just the last 6 months, the conclusion is similar. 49%.
If this thing can continue to sell off, it has a major test at that PML. All right, so a major test at that PML.
And this is well below the post-pandemic highs, but still.
Nice 5-minute flag on Tesla. See if we can knock out those lows. Google's still bouncing.
So bears watching. What we need to judge is whether the trends we see indicate upside inflation risks. Now, it matters, too, whether the inflation readings of the past 5 years have seeped into expectations. The good news is that measures of inflation expectations in the medium term, by and large, look stable. And inflation compensation measures from the swaps market send a strong and similar message, especially in light of recent developments. It's a credit to the Fed as an institution, consistent with the best of the Fed's traditions, that market prices show.
If you took it via shockwave, you waited to scale out. Okay, to scale out. These candles do have a high ATR. They're covering a lot of ground in a short period of time, so it's very easy for you to see double digits. TP1 hit right at that PML. All right, so the big danger here for the shorts is the inverse head and shoulder. If we can clear this PML, we have room to the downside. All right, we have more room to the downside. Big test right here. Okay, big test right here. Can we hold that PML? If it can hold, possibility of our inverse head and shoulder out of here. If it fails, we got lower lows coming in. All right, so if you took that, good. Let's continue to listen. And again, this is very volatile times, especially with the Fed chair speaking, guys. Very volatile times. Best thing to do in this era time is just no trades. Amazon coming back for the test. All right, especially if you're a beginner trader. All right, this is a no trade condition. You can get hurt by one of these candles very quickly. Okay, within a blink of an eye. All right, the big move took place earlier. All right, on small caps and Tesla. Those are the two big winners during first shift, small caps and Tesla. I'm still keeping an eye on Microsoft. Okay, still keeping an eye on Microsoft. Potential Amazon retest coming into play. Get back into it. Palantir, nothing there. Okay, let's continue to listen. So this has been going on for 30 minutes, guys. 30 minutes.
That know us, you'll know the following is true. We take our responsibility seriously, with humility and with resolve. We know so much depends on the choices we make. Sound monetary policy helps households and businesses to prosper. When carried out effectively, it broadens and deepens the momentum of our economy and helps to secure America's leadership in the world. And I know that our country needs us to think carefully and act wisely, perhaps now more than ever. It's a tremendous honor to serve once again at the Federal Reserve. I'm truly grateful for the encouragement, good counsel, and the warm reception I've received in my first 100 days from my colleagues. I'm also honored and grateful for the views that I've gotten, solicited and unsolicited, from so many of you in this room. For that, and for your kind attention this morning, I say thank you. Let's get on with the rest of the program.
Right at 10:30, second shift is when the press conference ends. Okay. So we dump pre-press conference, we pump mid-press conference, and then we're starting to just chop around now. All right. So we can at least see if we can at least expand outside of this candle, this press conference candle right here. All right. If not, if we stay in there, guys, it's going to be messy. Okay. It's going to be messy. All right. So we took a quick trade for the puts right here. The retrace reject was available here as well for a nice little drop, but decided to get activated right there. Okay. So do we get a higher high or do we get lower lows? This is how this type of formation forms, tightening. Okay. Keeping a close eye on Microsoft in this case. Microsoft, see if that comes back into play. Microsoft has to break outside of that that double top. See if you get that nice little breakout. Microsoft gets some fuel behind that move, fuel behind that push. I'll be there for the Microsoft resurface. SPY must get above daily open for that to come to fruition and get above that VWAP as well. Okay, get above that VWAP. So Microsoft, looking at the calls, Microsoft for potential second trade here. Okay, see Microsoft can hold there. No shenanigans at that level. Microsoft contracts to 515, so we just see their spreads. Okay, spreads are not bad. See Microsoft can continue to push. That candle just kind of pull back a little bit. Pull back just a little bit. Lose its edge. Okay, don't want to get it in there quite yet. I want that candle to hold there. Okay, there's been a lot of shenanigans at those breaks. I don't want to front run it. See this 5 on the candle? Let's see if you can continue to push a little bit. There have been a lot of shenanigans at those levels. So ideally, see if SPY can break out of it. Keeping a close eye on Microsoft. See if you can get one more push. One more push. Reason why I say that is because you see these highs. Microsoft is testing these highs. These highs right there. So we need victory above 511.92. Can we get victory above 511.92? If not, nothing there. That was a nasty trap there on the one on Microsoft as well. Okay, SPY starting to go. SPY starting to wake up. See if I can get Microsoft back to being active. Meta not doing much. Meta is muted. Look at this hourly candle, guys. Okay, look at this hourly candle. Up for grabs. Okay, SPY starting to break here. Green light once again. Call me when you're ready, Microsoft. All right, so we're starting to see a nice little push post press conference. Post press conference push, but is this push legit? Is this a legitimate push? Qs are at PMH. Qs are at PMH. Qs are still range bound. SPY is coming off PML. Look where it bounced off of, guys. Exactly that level. All right, so all these levels are in the game plan. It's very important for you to thoroughly review the game plan. Those levels can be used for targets, for entries, for rejection entries, bounce entries, targets, okay, for ways of managing your risk. Came to a T right to that. 769.76. $769.76, right in the game plan right there. Okay, daily levels. Okay, to a T, to the penny. So if you're shorting into that level. If you're looking for a bounce, you can see there's a key zone there. You take the bounce off this level, use this level as your risk, or however you want to approach it. Okay, Apple is also starting to wake up here. Apple is starting to wake up. A nice hold on a Google and Amazon break. Nice push there on those two names. Apple, these contracts. Looking at the 317.50s. Okay, they're in the money currently, so by the time it gets all the way up there, I'll be in the money. Alright. Or maybe even go 1 DT. Okay. I'm going to go Apple. 1 DTE 320s. Apple 1 DT 320s. That's what I'm looking at. Instead of the zeros, I'll see what the 320s are up to on Apple to the upside. Okay, so keeping an eye on that idea. Amazon is out of here, guys. Amazon is just continuing to push. Amazon is pushing. So in this case, the big danger for this Apple trade idea is a double top occurring. So let's rule out a double top. If we can rule that out, okay, we have some room to continue to push. Apple has some room to push. Has a couple of targets in that 320, where that break in that 320 have a clear runway. Okay, also Microsoft is fueling up. Okay, so looking at the ones on Apple, looking at the zeros on Microsoft. Okay, so by that logic, I'm looking to treat that Microsoft as a quick scalp. Okay, I like how SPY is starting to break here. Okay, see if we can hold above PMH. Qs are starting to push. We got the Dow pushing the last 10 minutes. We got small caps pushing the last 10 minutes. Can the Qs finally create separation away from this range-bound area? Okay, they've been range-bound for quite some time. Can they finally break away from this key zone? SPY already pushing. Okay, we got Shockwave 60. All right, who's done for the day, guys? Who's done for the day? Who is done for the day? Who is done for the day? Okay, guys, take a minute to smash the like button again. Let's get the likes up. On YouTube, we're getting close. We're getting close to 100. Let's get the likes up. Explain Shockwave. Shockwave is our indicator to trade the opening range. It gives you risk guidance. It gives you TPs. It gives you entries. It takes 10 things into consideration, 10 variables before it gives you a signal. So it's to help you capitalize off the open range if you're looking to be a system-based trader. So you're coming to the day. System-based simply means you're coming to the day, no bias. You're looking to follow a system rather than try to predict what the market is doing. All right, you're coming in, you're implementing your system, you're imposing your system on the action, okay, and you're looking for the same setups every day. All right, so that's what Shockwave is in a nutshell. It allows you to trade the opening range in an efficient way. It draws the levels for you every single day. You choose the risk guidance, you choose the risk, you choose the entry model. And it allows you to capitalize off those setups. Okay, so for instance, if you have Shockwave, Alphabet was a signal, Amazon was a signal, Tesla signal, IWM signal. Right? If it's gonna make a big move, you'll be a part of it. We'll put you in the driver's seat. Okay, Microsoft, is this legit? I want to see Microsoft hold above that level, continue to push. Microsoft. That last time we got that level, there was a nasty wick. So let's see if we can get at least a hold above that level. Give me a signal. Apple's also pushing. Apple, I'm going to take the break. Okay, I'm not waiting on Apple. I'm going to take the break at face value. Okay, so I'm in Apple already. Microsoft, I will wait. Okay, Apple, I'm in already. Off the break. Risk is conservative. The reason is historically Apple, when it breaks, it goes. So I'll shoot my shot that way. And the risk is gonna be, and these are the 1DTs. Okay, if it was the zeros, maybe I'll just wait a little longer. All right, so taking the break face value on Apple. The risk is gonna be conservative 317, 317.45. $317.45. Okay, so no close below that conservative risk on Apple. And these are the 1DTs. So in this case, we want Apple to move in the same direction as SPY. And now I want to see Microsoft. I'm going to use a little more confirmation for this Microsoft entry. Okay, I want to see SPY break those highs. Okay, Apple is starting to push. If you did take that, manage accordingly, guys. Okay. If you happen to take with zeros, you should be up twice as much, maybe 3 times as much. Okay, I want to see Apple hold above that level. 318.13. If we can get it close above that, that's going to give us a lot of confidence. Okay. Okay. Apple is up 10%, 11%. TP if you need to. 13. I'm going to take a majority off right there on Apple at 14%. Holding runners. Runners at break even. Okay, so I took my 14, 15% here on Apple. And I'm going to let the runners do what they need to do. Does anyone know why I took Apple at face value? Does anyone know why? If you've been paying attention to, you know why. Face value meaning when it broke, I took it. Microsoft is also there, okay? SPY also going. Okay, Apple up 22%, 27% on Apple. Okay, we talked about this morning we're going to catch Apple. All right, we talked about we're going to catch it. All right, and there you go. 29. There goes Apple. 37%, 47%. I'm going to take some more off right there. I'm going to be down to one last runner, okay? 50%, 57% on Apple, guys. Wow. 58% on Apple. We talked about there's room with that 320. 64% on Apple, 66%. At 319.45 we might stop. Okay, I'll close right there at 60% on Apple. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much, Apple. Pleasure doing business. What a trade. All right, so there we go, guys. Apple 1 DTEs, 60+% in under 10 minutes. All right, so we talked about in the pre-market, we're going to catch Apple. All right, we took our time. We missed it a few times this week. No rush. When our time was there, we struck. We got what we needed. Okay, and we're out of there. Whatever wants to do from this point on, that's not my business. If you are holding, if you're trailing, trail accordingly. If you're diamond handing, do whatever you need to do. All right, but make sure you have something to show for it when it's all said and done. Okay, tremendous job, guys. Tremendous job. Meta, you've been crushing Meta this week, Devil Dog. Apple, there we go, Carlos. All right, so that's going to be the 2 trades I'll take today, and that's all the trades. All right, yesterday just 2, today 2, and that's more than enough. 60+% on Apple. What more can I ask for on this Friday? Okay, in less than 5 minutes. What more can I ask for in less than 5 minutes of work? All right, we got the best job in the world, guys. We just got to do it to the best of our ability. Microsoft Alphabet gone. If you're waiting for Shockwave 60, gone. Okay, Microsoft gone. All right, it's just there's so many opportunities I can't even catch all of them. All right, that's how abundant. Okay, the markets are if you have a system. Okay, it's opportunity overflow. Okay. Right, that is the biggest challenge for us, okay? And it's not making things up. It's the reality is there's too many opportunities. So our job is not to find good opportunities. Our job is to discern the difference between good and great opportunities. That's our job. Distinguishing the difference between a good versus a great opportunity. Okay? That's what we're doing every day. Opportunities, they will be there. All right, guys. So that's a great way to cap off the week. Took Apple all the way to TP1. Okay, Shockwave speaks for itself, guys. Whether you have 1.0, 2.0, a 3.0 coming out soon, the stack coming out soon. Okay, whatever you do have, guys, it speaks for itself. And it's almost like a cheat code. That type Shockwave 15 in the as a ticker. I was gonna type Apple. Okay, it's been a long week. Okay, where do we take Apple to? This thing breaks, I take it to TP1. Okay, TP1. That's good. If you took it with zeros, okay, that 65% is going to be basically 2x. Okay, anywhere from 1.7 to 2.5x. So that could be easily 100+% trade. Okay, Amazon. Look at this, guys. Shockwave. All right, so every day you don't have the Shockwave system is a day that you're missing these opportunities. All right, and it's the reality. And let's put the dashboard as well. I've been trying to put the dashboard. I took out the dashboard for the sake of saving space on the screen. All right, but we have dashboard here. Tells you exactly what the triggers are. Tells you everything you need to know. This is Apple. If you think Apple was a trade, wait until you see Google's chart. Okay. How many opportunities? 1, 2, 3. Third one was a charm. Third one went to TP2 and beyond. How about Amazon's chart? Okay, Amazon's chart. You take the calls right there. What you do with the rest, up to you. How about Microsoft's chart? Okay, the one we were waiting for. All right, I decided to go for a side quest to Apple, but if you took Microsoft here into highs that we talked about, look, the most important thing is, guys, if you saw it earlier, this came in. This was a trap. The indicator will protect you from that. Okay, it will protect you from all that. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions, guys? Any questions? Any questions? All right, so make sure you do everything you can to get your hands on the shockwave indicator. Now we got September coming up. You definitely want to have it when it's Q4. All right, when it's Q4, you definitely want to have it. And let trading pay for it, okay? Let trading pay for it. You're taking the ideas, you're enjoying the content, let it pay for itself. And then after that, it will pay for itself moving forward. Okay, so let's take a look at where we are. When in doubt, zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. Okay, so we're going to zoom out. All right, so now we continue to push, and we're going to put some pressure on this rejection zone. We're coming in hot into this rejection zone. All right, if we continue to push, accelerate, get past that 774, 71. Okay, that segues us into 775. We unlock the push into all-time highs. All right, so all-time highs are within striking distance. Okay, so this is what we needed. If you guys recall the 5-day range. So we needed GDP. Okay. We needed Nvidia, and then we needed the Fed chair to get us out of that 5-day range. So we needed all of them to get us out when it was all said and done. When the dust settled, all of them in combination got us out of there. So we are still in that catalyst-driven market. Okay, so if we take a look at the Qs, small caps are not fully in the clear. Small caps, 5-day range continues. Okay, take a look at Qs. Qs, what did we talk about the Qs this morning, guys? Qs, they need to hold this right here. They come in bounds, they're pushing into that rejection zone. So they're kind of running out of room before hitting a roadblock. Just because they hit a roadblock, it doesn't mean it needs to reverse the entire thing. It can just lead to a nice little pullback. Right, but they're coming in hot. The Qs and SPY coming in hot as they approach their respective rejection zones. GLD, aggressive push lower. IBIT, okay, just treading there. I want to go to the Dow. Dow, okay, also range bound, but it looks like the Dow wants to break as well in that rejection zone. So for those big three, the big three can crack their rejection zones. Okay, all-time highs around the corner. And the interesting thing is, guys, we saw the Dow make all-time highs this month already. We saw, look at SPY, guys, what a chart. We saw SPY make all-time highs already. The laggard is this guy. The Qs have not yet made all-time highs. So you can see inverse head and shoulder out of here. Okay, let the technicals lead the way. So for the Dow, for the Qs to make all-time highs, they still have a couple of zones, okay, to declare victory over. Right, the bulls have some conquering to do. They got this here, they got that there, and they have finally the last piece. All right, so they're not in striking distance yet. SPY is. Okay, SPY is in pursuit. All right, guys. Look at this. If you miss Shockwave 15, okay, you have Shockwave 60 via the stack. All right, you saw that take place right there. Shockwave 60 right there. You catch that as well. Shockwave 60, you can actually catch a bigger move with Shockwave 60. Okay, that's coming out as well. The stack is coming out as well. All right. Oh, Poodle strikes again. Look at that, 219%. Exactly, those are the zeros. Right, the zeros, you're going to see that 100+% return. Tremendous job, Poodle. Are you still holding? If you're able to hold through that 5-minute pullback, you're back to where you were. Good, good, good. 93% on Meta. You owned Meta this week, Devil Dog. All right, you should be the new CEO. Okay, Mark Zuckerberg, move over. Okay, another 2%. Meta broke via shockwave. Meta. If you can cross, Meta has a big test here. Whenever the market is hot, everything's gonna carry it. So Meta, shockwave 60 on Meta, plays out beautifully. Scale out, but 15 also played out as well. But Meta has some overhead resistance it needs to overcome here. All right, you see it says scale out right there. It says scale out, and that scale out corresponds with this key zone. So does it have enough to get past that daily upside breaker? Does it have enough to get past this weekly level? Okay. It's still up about $4 away from that $5.90. For it to get to that $5.90, it needs to get past. It needs to declare victory above this key zone. If it can't, this key zone can easily reset it and send it back here. Okay, so if SPY continues to be hot, see if I can carry Meta. So we got a green light on Meta a long time ago. Right there, green light right there. Reclaims VWAP. It continues to push. Okay. Beautiful job. Do you trade directly from your phone, Poodle, and you take all those positions off of your phone? Tremendous job. Okay, you're truly a ninja with the phone. Tremendous job. Yeah, that's a skill within itself. Okay, being able to do that on the phone, multiple positions. Good. That's tremendous. Tremendous. All right, so let us know how everyone did, guys. How do you guys do? Beautiful job, Dan. 35% on Meta. Good. That's how we do it, guys. 87% all out. Tremendous job, real quiet. With the were those the ones, 1 DTEs or Monday's contracts? Had a 0 DTE, 317.50 calls and 320 call. Okay, you did both. Okay, 0, 1, 1. Good. Zeros, okay. Good. Phone trader as well. So we'll probably have to phone traders. Big shout out to you guys. And that goes to show you, right? So you don't need this big fancy setup. I can show you what Shockwave looks like on my phone. Or else let me see if I can send a screenshot. Because it is mobile friendly. So if you can the issue is Webull's they do have an indicator feature where you can program your indicators, but there's things that their things cannot handle. Their thing cannot handle the capability or the functionality of the indicator. The current language they're using. See if Meta comes for the retest. I'm done for the week, guys. Okay, so a great way to close out the week. I'll show you what it looks like on the phone. Alright, so it is mobile friendly. Alright, this is what Shockwave looks like on the phone. Let me post it to the Discord. So if you have Shockwave open on one, and then you have Webull for execution, very doable. So it's designed to fit your mobile phone. That's how it looks. Okay, so oh, wrong one, wrong image. That was the other day. Remember when we took that drop? Let me show you from today. Boom, that's how it looks. All right, so on the phone, this is what the indicator looks like. Okay. Calls there. TP1, TP2, TP3. That's from today. That's SPY. Shockwave 15. Even you can take the puts to the downside. You can see it gave you 3. It has a trade tracker. 3 trades. It tells you what the outcome of those trades were and when they came in. All right, so it's more than capable of being your mobile trading companion. All right. 55% meta puts. Right off this rejection. Okay, so key zone rejection. You can target this area here. Okay, so tremendous job, Devil Dog. All right, and once you guys start to implement these principles, understand how things really work, and you just know it's just you versus you. It's not you versus the market. In the beginning, it's you versus the market and you versus you. Okay, there's so many things you're battling. All right. Once you start to understand it's just you versus you, and just being sharp mentally, being disciplined, and you're sharp with your the technicals already there, right? Then trading becomes fun again. Okay, it's going to become fun. All right, because we work so hard. All right, for me to get to this point. There's countless hours. It's not just, hey, we just wake up and you click buttons. Countless hours. I'm pretty sure people who've been doing it countless hours as well. And it's frustrating because those countless hours have not produced anything yet. But don't be discouraged. You're just 1 or 2 things away. Okay, 1 or 2 things away. And if you stop now, you'll never find out. And that's the whole point of the program. All right, traders from all walks of life, all experiences, all backgrounds, different professions. We have entrepreneurs, we have people who are retired, mid-career, early career, sales, healthcare, tech, you name it. All right, everybody coming together and taking on this challenge. And it's going to require you to do it a lot. All right, the ones that are finding success, guys, in our team, the ones who've been here for 6 months, 9 months, a year, right, they're completely different from the way they were a year ago. And there's nothing dramatic that they did. It's not just, hey, you know what, I'm just going to overhaul everything. It's just small improvements every day, week over week. At some point, you don't even have the luxury to think of the entire day. It's just small improvements shift by shift. Don't even think about the entire day. Just shift by shift. And then eventually you start to go day by day, week by week. Okay, so there's nothing like it. There's nothing like trading. There is nothing like it when it's done the right way. Beautiful job, Devil Dog. I had an issue with Weeble. Yeah, I think it was last Friday or Thursday. I had issues as well. I had to delete the app and reinstall it multiple times. Yeah, I think it was on Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. It was Friday because Tesla, last Friday, I was looking to take that Tesla trade on Friday, and then let's see if I can go to Friday. All right. I'm certain it was Friday. The one trade I was looking to take, waited for Tesla, and then platform doesn't work. Okay, to alleviate some of the frustration, at least some of the team members caught it. Here it is. Yes, here's Tesla. And it was on 15. Okay, last Friday. All right, you start doing this a long time, you start to have memory of an elephant. Okay. Here it was. That one right here. All right. So this is the trade on last Friday, if you guys recall. Anyone remember taking this? Okay. So comes in. We're locked and loaded. Contracts ready. Try to buy. Can't buy. The button is not even working. Okay. So, and that was the first time I saw that issue. And leading up to that, what I did notice is leading up to it, all right, I was having the order confirmation thing keep coming up when I have it by default, off by default, because that takes too much time. All right, that it just, especially if you're scalping, all right, you're indexing for time. Time is everything. Okay, a split second can make a difference on how much profit you take, if you get filled, and can be a big difference, guys. It comes down to that. Okay, at the highest level. And say it becomes a game of split seconds at the highest level. And that matters. All right, but good thing is we didn't harbor that frustration. We let it go. We came back the next day on Monday, and then we did what we needed to do. So that kind of explains, I guess that kind of explains why I've been all over Tesla this week. Take my frustration out on Tesla. All right, so in a good way. Okay, in a good way. So let's get the likes up on YouTube, guys. Make sure to like the video. This bounce is the bounce of the week. If you know, you know. Okay, these are the most important levels that you have on your chart. Everything else, to be honest, guys, is secondary. Everything else is secondary. Any discretionary levels, okay, they're not to be fully trusted unless you have a ton of confluence. Okay, SPY pulling back here. Okay, SPY's pulling back after knocking out how many TPs? Okay, SPY's pulling back after knocking out TP1 on Shockwave 60. This is a big test for SPY because at 775, where we're rejecting off of here, it's critical. Does this reset us all the way back to here, or do we catch a bid off of the jaws of this wave? We're starting to see the Qs also sell off, SPY also selling off. And the Qs have officially expanded outside of that range. The Qs have officially expanded outside of that range. How are we doing on YouTube, guys? I'm up, OG. Phone trader, good, awesome. 17% overall. Calling it a day, tremendous. 119% for Fishman. SPY calls. Beautiful job, Fishman. Okay, so first hour of the day, first hour and a half of the day is in the books. Once we wrap up, and a good thing is, pro tip, guys, if you do trade the opening drive, especially the first hour, first 2 hours, okay, maybe if you're struggling with over trading, maybe just trade when we're live. All right, just tie your trading, your work day to when we're live. And then after that, don't trade. Okay, you have to use these different tips and tricks to protect yourself from yourself. All right, so if you're done up until this point, guys, if you're green on the day, stay clean. Okay, stay clean. You can't wrestle with pigs and expect to come out unscathed. Okay, we got in, we got out, we took our 2 pieces. Now we're not going to go wrestling with greed in this type of action. Okay, PLTR finally coming into play. PLTR is starting to go. I can go, it's fine. SPX first inverse candle of the week. Nice. Smashing its head on that resistance up there. 775. Look what SPY feels about that 775. Get to 775. Starts to reject right here. Look. So all those longs up there, thank you very much. Yanked them back down. So now we want to see separation away from this rejection zone. Okay, what kind of separation do we get? If it starts to get sticky, okay, between 775, the top end of that, and between these the bottom end of this rejection zone, that's the range. Because if you zoom out, we were range bound here for 5 days without a catalyst. Before that, we were range bound here for 6 days, and a catalyst got us out of there. Okay, so we're seeing some aggressive profit taking here off that 775. We are now about $4 give or take away from all-time highs. Can we get there today? Anything is possible. All right, but I'd say maybe a 35% chance that we get there. 35 to 40% chance we get there today. Okay, if by the time it's midday, like say like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and we're above 775, 774, we have a chance to make a run. But if we fail to hold this 772s, start to fall back in here, might be out of time. All right, but going into next week, barring some kind of gap down, okay, all-time highs are back in the mix. Okay, all-time highs are back in the mix. All right, guys. Any questions? Let's get to 100 likes before 11:30. We'll do the giveaway. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to do so. We are closing in on 6K subs. All right, now we're less than 40 subs away. All right. Okay. So for the folks who did send me your DM to test out the new portal, next week, Wednesday, midweek, should be good to go. I'll send you guys the links. All right, you should be able to log in through WAP. All right, and you'll get authenticated through WAP, and then you'll have access to here. All right, you'll have access to the platform. Okay. Game plan is posted in there, so game plan is in the Discord again. This is to complement the Discord. All right, so game plan will also be in here. You have the stream calendar, you have the economic calendar, you have the replay. The replay is posted there every single day. You have the day trading course. All right, so that comes with your membership. Okay, these are the different sections: getting started day trading, technical analysis, options trading, simplified trading psychology routine, practice, and roadmap to consistency. You have the 9-part shockwave course. Don't forget, you have an entire course on shockwave, and Mastering Open Ranges. Okay, you have my ebook as well. Okay, key levels, inefficiencies, liquidity, confluence. With these three, if you finish these three, 5 hours, 5.5 hours, this I would say is about an hour a piece. All right, so we'll just round up to 10 hours, 15 hours, and spend about 30 minutes reading this, an hour digesting it, under 20 hours. Okay, so if you take your time, under 20 hours of deep study, okay, you'll be up to speed from a technical standpoint. Up to speed. All right. And then when you're ready, you start to devise your playbook. Okay, you'll start to devise your playbook. Okay, and we also have this resource as well if you want to look anything up. That's also available. And of course, if you're looking to pick up Shockwave, okay, that's also available. The Shockwave Suite, Shockwave Independent Indicators, all right, so that's also available. Key level indicator coming up. That's going to be available, and the wave retrace indicator as well. Okay, that gives you green light, red light. That gives you, there's retracements here. The retracement measure, that's also available. So I have a lot of things getting ready to be launched going into Q4. Okay, so if you survived, if you thrived during this season, okay, tremendous job. This was not an easy season to survive. Okay, this was much more difficult than last summer. Okay, but the difficulty should determine if we're going to be profitable or not. The difficulty just means we'll just have to be sharper. We have to be quick on adjusting. We have to be quick on adapting to the conditions. Okay, and once we get to a point where things are expanding every day, you have to adapt to that. You can't just be thinking that the things that were true in August, be fixated on that and adapt too late and implement those when the market is doing something else. Okay, so we have to have that fluidity at all times. Okay. Especially on the ETFs 100%. Doctor, they have not been easy. Last year, there's always a degree of difficulty. Last year, the only thing was just ATR was low, volume was a little lower. Okay, so it required a different skill set to survive. So it's basically every season, guys. It requires a different. It's like you're facing a different opponent. It requires a different skill set to navigate. And if you don't have that skill set, the market will force you to learn it if you want to survive. If you do, okay, you just go into your bag of tricks, pull that one out. Okay. So we have all the skills to navigate. Whatever the market throws, guys, the one thing is we have all the skills to navigate and give ourselves the best chance. Doesn't matter what it does. We're going to have a response. So that's one thing that you can be confident about. Okay? That's one thing that should fuel your confidence. Please explain bullish, bearish bias. Okay, bullish, bearish bias, think of bias as you're favoring one side. All right, so bullish means market is going up. That's simple terminology. Bearish means market is going down. All right, so how do we take that simple concept and how do we unpack that? Bullish, market going up. Okay, so we'll start to unpack it layer by layer by layer. Bias simply means what side do you favor? What side do you lean towards? All right, so bullish Market going up. Okay. Bearish, market going down. So based on what you're seeing, you build a bias. So what does market going up, bullish bias mean? Bullish bias means, okay, for the market to go up, what's the characteristics of a market that's going up? Trend. Okay, so now market going up means trend. Okay, that means trend. What does trend mean? Simple, very simple rule. These are very simple concepts to understand, but difficult to apply. Okay, trend means you have a high, you have a low, you have a high, you have a low, you have a high, you have a low, you have a high, you have a low. Okay, that's what a trend means. How do we know there's a bullish trend? Because we can see that it almost looks like stairs. Okay, every high is followed by a low. Okay, and that low is followed by a high, and that high is higher than this low, and the next low coming in is higher than this low. So this is bullish. So if you start to see this, right? So you can start to have a bullish bias. Okay, so the mistake a lot of people make, guys, is they have a bias. They have a bias and they apply their bias to the market. You never apply your bias to the market. Okay, you look at the market and you let the market tell you what the bias is. Okay, the bias is conclusion. You don't start with the bias. Okay, there's no bias. Okay, when you're coming in, there's no bias, especially for intraday trading. You can have ideas and situations and scenarios, but you're telling the market, and then you develop a bias. You develop the bias based on what the market is telling you. So on the other hand, same thing. This is bearish. How can we tell? Because of the characteristics of a downtrend, which is the complete opposite. Low, 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 low. So we start to see this sequence. That means we're in a downtrend. So based on this, okay, you build a bias. So if the market is not doing this or this, okay, what can it possibly do? Okay, it can do neither. So it starts to chop. In this case, there is no bias. So there's three states basically, and the market moves between these three states. Okay, every day on all the time frames. All right. So in this state there's no bias. So based on your observation, so you observe. Okay, because you're trained not to have a bias first. You observe. And you ask yourself, what is the market doing? Based on what the market is doing, then I can build a bias. And that bias will remain true as long as, okay, the market is continuing to do what it's doing. If it starts to do something else that invalidates the bias, then my bias has to change. Right? The mistake a lot of people make is we're in a bullish trend and the entire day is going to be bullish. That's why we implement the shift-to-shift framework. Okay, we're basically just thinking of it, every hour is basically an entire day for us. That's a lifetime. Our job is not to know what's going to happen in third shift. It's just that shift. So making these assessments, making these reads within that time. Because if we're going to align ourselves on the right side, we have a better chance of applying the proper setups, okay, that allow us to capitalize off these opportunities. So that's what it simply means. So when someone says bullish, bearish, it's a very open-ended, but this is what it means from a technical standpoint. All right, but from a bigger picture standpoint, if we're in a quote-unquote bear market, we have to be down 20%. Okay, that's the bigger picture standpoint. When someone says bear market, they're not really referring to the intraday. They're referring to the overall bigger picture. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question, Arnold. All right. Apple is doing its thing. Look at Apple, guys. Apple. So I closed my 60% and went home. Right here, give you context. Okay. I closed my 60% right there, went home. So you can only imagine where this is. All right, so let me know. Probably Poodle is still in this. Our resident diamond hand. She was up about 19%. And I'll keep rinse and repeating Poodle. All right. If you master the one contract in your system, just rinse and repeat. All right. Sometimes sizing up is overrated. All right. Just continue to hammer it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. All right. So Apple is flying, as expected. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any questions? So make sure to grab Shockwave, guys. Prices will be changing. Speaks for itself. It's a game changer. The most frustrating and discouraging thing for me this week is trying to scalp and order doesn't get filled. Do you use stop order for scalping? No, I use market order. If the spreads are tight, I'm scalping. The most important thing for me is being able to get in and get out. Okay. Frictionless entry and exit. $102%. Sono. Make sure to like the video, guys. Tremendous. Spy divergent with Qs, doctor. Oh, with the Dow. Yeah, I can see that. With the Dow. Does Shockwave work on all platforms? Shockwave works on TradingView. Okay. It's built to work well on TradingView. It's basically native to TradingView. Some other charting platforms, they don't have as many features as TradingView. All right, so that's why it's not going to work as well. $100%, guys. Who's green for the week? Okay, green dots in the chat, guys, if you're green for the week. And we'll look to wrap it up here in a few minutes. A tremendous way to close out the week. And Apple, that was a trade for the road. And this is the last trading day of the month, right? Yep. No, Monday. We got one more day. All right, so use this weekend, guys, to make the proper adjustments, not only for the week-to-week adjustments, but the month adjustments. So take a look at August. Okay, make a plan for August. And make sure the plan is not monetary. Okay, you don't want to do Excel math for August. Start to project on what you're going to make and do this and do that and do this. Remember, process first. Okay. If you can continue to improve certain aspects of your process, refine it, rinse and repeat it, have an overall idea of where you want to land. Okay, the fruits will take care of themselves. But the input is the only thing you control. All right, so make sure to make the plan for the month, even though Monday is going to be the last day of the month. And we're heading towards September. Okay. Tremendous job, CP. All right, so when we log off this live stream, guys, if you're having struggles with overtrading, okay, conquer overtrading once you go off live. Don't give back any profits. Okay. Today's the day where you conquer overtrading. All right. No, Shockwave does not come with the Discord. Okay, I'm working on something behind the scenes. Right, launching a different program that's more intimate, but I'm not going to talk about it now. But Shockwave is a standalone product. Standalone product. All right, you can access all that at smartactiontrade.com. Okay, smartactiontrade.com. Go to the indicator tab. You can get Shockwave on the quarterly. All this will be phased out. New prices coming out. If you want Shockwave on the yearly, guys, the link pinned in the chat is $497. Usually yearly is $697. That gives you access for 12 months. All right, so that gives you access for 12 months. If you're in lifetime from early bird, all right, you have access for lifetime. So 3.0, you get 3.0. Okay, so make sure to take advantage. If you're in quarterly, take advantage. All right, and 3.0, I'll make the 3.0 update part of the ones you get the yearly or quarterly during before the launch. So if you get quarterly or yearly, okay, quarterly will be phased out. Okay, I'll also give you that 3.0, okay? But you won't have access to 1.0, just 2.0. Okay, guys, if you're looking to join the community, make sure to do so. Community tab, everyone joining us on Free Trade Friday. There's a small sample of what we do every single day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys caught some of those ideas. All right. If you're looking to level up, use the proceeds from the trades you took to join the community, which is smart. $69 a month will get you started. You have access to this type of program every single day from 9 a.m. Eastern all the way to 12 o'clock. All right. So from pre-market prep all the way to the open. Okay, so all the things we talk about in pre-market, okay, we have to execute on this. It's not just, hey, you know what, we're going to do the pre-market and just dismiss you guys and leave you in the wilderness. All right, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to implement it, and we're going to cap it off. Okay, so everything's available there, guys. Make sure to take advantage. You can do so if you're looking to go with the yearly lifetime on the Shockwave. Okay, the best bang for your buck is to go starter pack. 12 months access to the community. Shockwave 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 lifetime, 60-minute coaching call, and bootcamp ticket. All right, that's all available to you. All right, so make sure to do that. And then if you go to Spy Strikers, that's our site for the membership. Okay, if you go to Spy Strikers. Okay, that's easier to remember than smartactiontrade.com, spystrikers.com. Use the code TRIAL30 to join our community. Okay, you can join on our site, or you can go to spystrikers.com, and you have access to all the cool features. Right, once this portal is released, okay, there is going to be a significant increase. So you want to get in while this portal is being built, because now you have access to everything you need. All right, so you want to get in now, especially if you've been watching for 3 to 5 episodes. Okay, guys, any questions? Do you know where Apple is headed? Apple. Let's take a look at Apple a day. Apple is above that weekly upside breaker. Apple has these targets, and Apple has the next cycle level 325 and a couple of targets. So Apple has room to run, because Apple, guys, broke above a major level. Okay, and is in the jaws of that gap. You see Apple? So Apple has a massive gap down. Okay, so it's recovering that gap down. So with those 1DTEs, you'll be in good shape. You'll be in good shape with those 1DTEs to see it through. So on Monday, Apple will be on high watch. Okay. Apple has room to continue to push. As long as this wave 2 and 3 are pushing north, we don't get any red lights. We can get some pullbacks into it as long as it's holding structure. Has room to 325. We have a target coming up here We're currently at that target here. We have one more target up there at 323.49 through 23.50 and 325. Barring some kind of massive drop or a structural reversal that leads to these waves to flip, that's where Apple is going. Or that's what Apple is trying to get to. Okay. Okay, guys. Any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? I'll try to get the mic issue resolved. Maybe I have to get a new mic. Who knows? Nice way to close out the week in August. Tremendous job, real quiet. One more trading day, shockwave. Okay, hopefully that answered your question, Jake. Thanks for what you do. Absolutely, Fishman. And great trade on SPY, Fishman, 103%. May your weekend be safe, blessed. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen, amen, amen. Everyone have a safe weekend. Enjoyable weekend. Amazon. Amazon is a runaway train as well. Same thing with Amazon. Okay, AA, Avalon, Amazon, runaway train. Okay, same thing. All right, again, shockwave, calls there, speaks for itself, and then now weekly upside breaker on Amazon. So these are way overextended. Unless I'm trying to scalp pullbacks off of the waves or key levels, right? The big move already took place because now you're paying upwards of 300, 400% more than you were here. Okay? So if you buy it 300, 400% more, then its value, okay, the only way for you to make money is if it appreciates beyond that. So is there something on the chart that shows it can appreciate beyond that? So from a shallow perspective, shallow pullback, possibly a bounce off this territory. That's the only thing I can think of. Okay, outside of that, this is gone. Sometimes it's okay to let it go. Okay, sometimes it's okay to let it go. Okay, guys. Do a quick review of what is included in the price options courses. Okay, yeah, everything is on the site. So everything on the site, smartactiontraining.com. Okay, we'll do it again. I know a lot of you are first-time viewers, new viewers who are interested. All right, go to the course tab. The course is available here. So when you access the course, all right, you have access to in WAP. There's a portal for the course in WAP, but this is what you have access to. It's a 5-part course, okay, broken into 5 modules. Getting started day trading. This gives you all the tools and resources you need. Technical analysis, options trading, simplified. Everything you need to know about options. Everything you need to know about technicals. Not just support is the floor, resistance is ceiling. Right? I give you the why and the science behind why technical analysis is known as technical analysis. A deep dive that you can understand. Okay? Trading psychology and routine, and then this. That is available on the site. Go to the courses tab right there. The indicator, what was your second question? The indicator? Indicator is also available. So go to smartactiontrade.com, indicator, open range framework, trade assist engine. So it filters out the traps and it tells you when to get in to assist you on your entries. Okay. And built for busy, active traders. Okay, I know a lot of you work full time. You don't have time to be drawing lines on the chart. You don't have time to wake up at a certain time and draw lines on the chart every single time. You're just trying to get in, see what's there, get out, and follow a repeatable system. So that's what it does. It takes care of the technical burden. So everything technical is done for you. Now the only thing you're responsible for is defining the risk, okay, managing the position accordingly. That's the burden you have. All right, so the technicals taken care of. You gotta know how shockwave works, the science behind shockwave. All right, there's a 9-part course, so our members will go check that out. Okay, 9-part course. All right, that's available in the Discord. You'll have access to the portal very soon. All right. I just think the portal is a cleaner way to organize it than because everyone doesn't use Discord. All right. Look at that, guys. Look at Spy. Look at Spy. Red light. There you go. Got a red light right there. Aggressive pullbacks. So that people say, just imagine if you take this all the way up here, up 70, 80%, 90%. You haven't taken any TP. Okay. Once you see this red light, and you start to see structurally we're starting to squeeze, you start to see we're topping. One of our captains talked about divergence. Okay, and it drops. What more can you ask for on this appreciation here? Okay, that's always a good question to ask ourselves. What more can I ask for? Okay, if someone came up to you and said, I'll give you 60% return in 2 minutes of work, it doesn't matter how much capital you allocate. Whether it's $100, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, doesn't matter. I'll give you a 60% return, 20% return, 30% return within 5 minutes. Right? Are you not going to take it? I will. I'll take it every time. Why not? 20% Spy puts. Beautiful job, Devil Dog. Okay, so that's how you access all the tools and resources, guys. I'm not with a firm. Okay, I have no affiliation with any firms. I'm self-taught, vertically integrated. Everything that I'm doing is my own ideas, my own system. Okay, building this from the ground up. All right, so there's no firm. I have no affiliation with any firm or any company. I'm just a trader who's here, wanting to just provide value in the space. I see a void in the space, and I want to provide value in the space, leading with education. Now, demonstration. So not only do we talk about the principles, we have to apply the principles. All right, to bring back the real education back into the space, so traders can be properly trained. All right, so no, there's no, I'm not part of some prop firm or no. So no affiliation with any prop firms. Okay. That would be the easy thing to do, right? The easy thing to do in this space is fire up a stream, get bot viewers, build up an audience, get a promo code, funnel people into these props. But it's more than that, guys. Okay, it's more than that. No problem with the prop space, but you guys know my feelings toward this prop space. It's a neutral feeling. Opportunity is opportunity. Fair game is fair game. But just be mindful. Okay, just be mindful where you're getting your information from. Okay. Be mindful where you're getting your information from. Be mindful. That's all. And in the prop space, you have to also understand there's a dark side to it too, guys. So not to hammer on the prop space too much, but sometimes people who are in a prop space, okay, who have a lot of people watching, they'll take losses on purpose. Okay, why would they take a loss on purpose if they know people are following them into trades? Because they have a reset code for you. You can use their discount code. Okay, so their intention is for you to use the discount code as many times as possible. Okay, so it's, before you get into any space, just understand what kind of territory you're navigating through. All right. And we are going to disrupt the space. Little by little, we're going to disrupt it. And we're here for it, guys. All right. We're going to lead with education, demonstration. We're going to help everyday traders by keeping the focus on process. And we're seeing the impact we're having. Even if it's one person who catches a trade, one person gets a green week. All right. To me, that's a huge win. So that's my metric. All right, that's my metric. Okay. Yeah, the Shockwave suite will be all the Shockwaves available. Yeah. Bio, my background is in tech. Okay, background is in tech. Any other questions? And if you're a systematic trader, all right, you can milk the props. Okay, you can milk the prop firms, but you can't trade it like how the space treats the accounts. If you trade it the same way you're trading like this when you're on the team, when you're trading your own account, right? The technicals are the technicals. They're just a couple of rules you got to follow, right? Okay. Okay. You pay the by you losing, you pay the bills. All right. You losing, you're paying the bottom line is you losing. My bottom line is me winning, in turn you winning, and we all win. Okay, that's the difference. If I'm losing, you're losing, we're all losing, and it's just happening over and over and over and over and over again, there's no system, there's no nothing, then what is the point of all this? Okay? All right, guys. And options trading. Everyone, I made the prediction a while back. Everyone has left the option space because it's too hard. Prop space emerges. All the options traders converted to futures. Very soon, they'll be back. Everyone's going to come back to the option space. Look at this, guys. Red light to the downside. VWAP getting cracked. We're testing that PMH. Okay, so options. People will start coming back to options very soon, guys. Because in my opinion, you can't beat it. I've traded futures, I've traded currencies, I've traded commodities. You cannot beat options. Okay. You cannot beat options. And plus you have the chance of trading these mega cap tech names. You have a chance of trading all these different names. You can trade the individual names now via futures, but there's not a lot of liquidity and volume in those names yet. Okay. Options is the way to go, guys. Divergence is strong. You called it, doctor. So red light, waves flipped. Now it looks like Devil Dog caught the puts. 27%. Good, good, good. Oh, you've been crushing it all week. And make sure not to overtrade. Make sure not to overtrade, guys. We're done. We're done for today. Any last questions? Any questions? Does this thing want to come back to that daily open? But where are we rejecting off of? 775. 775. Okay. Absolutely BT 6305. As always, guys, thank you for tuning in today. Hopefully you guys found value. We'll see you guys on Monday. If you're green, stay clean. That wraps up the week. 2 trades today. Both trade worked in our favor. SPY, quick scalp on SPY. That was during the statements by the Fed chair. And then we caught Apple for a nice little push to the upside on those 1 DTEs. Go back and watch the episode. Rewind to about the first hour of market open to see those trades. If you're interested in joining us, kicking off a new week, new month next week with our team, make sure to do so. Use the code TRIAL30. Strikers, even people joining us on Free Trade Friday, and of course the people joining us on YouTube members. We'll go over to our extended stream for a few minutes. We'll take any questions you guys may have, and we'll also wrap it up as it is Friday, and we'll let you guys get your weekend kicked off early. All right, so main thing is, if you're green, stay clean. Look to improve one thing. Okay, one thing going into the weekend, whether you had the best week of your life, worst week of your life, or if it was a subpar week, and come back next week better. All right, so make sure to get some rest, make sure to be rejuvenated, and we're going to tackle the month of September next week together. All right, we'll see you guys on Monday. Stay safe, and God bless each one of you.
Jesus is the answer. Oh. When the charts went dark, when the road got narrow, he was there. Jesus is the answer. I spent years chasing numbers on a glowing screen, thinking one more win would finally make me complete. Running after green candles like they could save my soul. The prophets make a poor God when they're sitting on a throne. Ooh, yeah. Build my house on sand. Watch the tide roll in.